Good morning, Unity. Welcome, welcome, welcome on a rainy September morning. Isn't that music beautiful this morning? I love it. You guys did great. Almost every song they did had the word September in it. It was pretty neat. Would you like to stand and join me in singing I Am a Point of Light? In the light of God. Yeah.
I didn't even do anything yet.
Two nice music presents.
Good morning. Oh, it's a beautiful morning. Doesn't it feel like fall? We're 2 days away, but still. I think it's fall, and I'm keeping the sweater on. I don't care what they say. Okay. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of North Idaho, where our mission is to inspire people to live and uplift lives. Let's take a minute and center ourselves, take a deep breath in, throw out all the cobwebs in our head, and be present in the now moment, and join me in prayer. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, the faith. Where there is error, the truth. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen. I'm Tammy Savage, and I'm your celebration assistant today. I'm not Gaius Winford, even though it says that, even though I'd like to be Gaius Winford. Or maybe she would want me to be, I don't know. Okay, the daily word for today. Living from my divine nature frees me. Sometimes I feel limited when I don't think I have enough time, money, space, education, or experience. These thoughts can occupy so much space in my mind that I begin to think limitation is the truth of life. The greater truth is that I am free and unlimited in spirit. Alive in God, I am free to express all the love, wisdom, and strength of the divine as only I can. What joy and liberation it is to know that nothing can separate me from my true spiritual nature. If I believe any circumstance in my life or any of my past actions obstruct or delay my spiritual progress, I now release that belief. Embracing and living from the divine presence within me, the Christ within me, I claim freedom from all limitations. In him we live and move and have our being. Acts 17:28. Now let's take a moment to greet each other with our Namaste greeting. We continue to be sensitive to issues around COVID, and there are those who would prefer not to shake hands or to hug. So we recommend that we greet each other with our hands in prayer posture and bow and say Namaste. I see the divine in you. Please stand and greet each other. Please stay standing and we'll sing our song.
A song of praise is a good way. It's a very good way. A song of praise is a good way to start your day. A song of praise is a good way. It's a very good way. A song of praise is a good way to start your day. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. A song of praise is a good way. It's a very good way. A song of praise is a good way to start your day. A song of praise is a good way. It's a very good way. A song of praise is a good way to start your day. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw! Yeah, that was nice. At Unity, we're an affirming ministry that honors the many names of God, the many faces of God, and the many paths to God. We bless all people of every race, color, and creed without exception. We're also a ministry of prayer, and through Silent Unity Prayer Ministry, there is someone praying for us 24/7 every day. If you would like to submit a prayer request, you can use the prayer request section of the connection card that is attached to your program, or you can fill out a prayer request form next to the prayer vessel, just outside the sanctuary double doors on the left. Put the prayer request in the red connection box card to the left of the sanctuary doors. You can put it in the offering vessel or in the prayer vessel. We will pray with you for 30 days, and then send on the request to Silent Unity, who will then pray for you for another 30 days. We also welcome those who are here for the first time. Maybe you're watching us online or for the first time found us on Facebook. We believe that you have found us by divine appointment. Please let us know you were here by filling out the connection card that is attached to your bulletin and tearing it off on the perforated line, putting it in the red container on the left side as you exit the sanctuary, or in the offering vessels at the side of the exit, or just give it to someone who looks like they're responsible. Give it to them. If you are watching online, then follow the instructions on your screen and go to our website, www.unitycenter.org, and scroll down to the button that says Connect with Us, Information and Prayer Request. Just fill it out and click on Submit. Also, if anybody needs to update their information with a new phone number, an email address, or address, just fill out the connection card and we will make sure your information is updated. And today we welcome our featured musicians. Julie Croteau, always the best. Leanne Erlin is on piano. Dagan Williamson on the drums, thank you. Jim Turner on vocals and guitar. Gary Butner over there on bass. And in our soundboard, we have Brian Williams, we have Brian Wright, we have Jim Sullenberger. Yes, I screwed that up. And Mark Sauce is doing double duty on the video and backing us up with his lovely voice. Okay, as always, we have some wonderful opportunities for you at Unity. For now, I will share the highlights. If you've got more information, you can go to unitycenter.org. October 3rd is the start of our next Spirit Group series. It's based on the book Breathing Underwater by Father Richard Rohr. If you haven't joined a group, please consider it. It's a terrific way to build community and develop your personal spiritual practice. You can sign up in the hallway or on our website Spirits Group page, and it's on literally right on the first thing. You click on our website, it comes right up and you can click on it and sign up there. The book is out in the hallway. It's available for $15, or you can order it from Amazon or get it on your Kindle. Whichever way, I would really recommend doing this. It's a wonderful way to connect with people on a very personal level and join together in a spiritual practice. It's a great way to build community. Our Course in Miracles group has been meeting for 3 years now, and we would love to welcome anyone who feels called to check out this amazing spiritual path. If you are interested in joining the ACIM study group, please plan to join in when this group reconvenes on October the 12th. The group meets on Tuesdays from 10:30 a.m. to noon. There's more information on the website and a flyer in the hallway. Liquid dishwasher detergents are another contributor to our single-use plastics problem. Consequently, the September ECO challenge is to switch to safer alternatives like Drops dishwasher detergent. Drops pods have a natural water-soluble casing. Look for Drops or other environmental alternatives anywhere natural products are sold. Also, if you would like to join the team as a committed member, please let Geraldine know of your interest. They meet once a month on the first Monday at 6 p.m. For now, these meetings are conducted online over Zoom. With your help, they can expand the Stop Using Single Plastics Challenge to a broader audience. As you know, we are supplying unexpired, non-perishable food to help keep Parker Subaru's community pantry stocked up. There's a collection box in the entryway for any items that you might bring in. As needed, we will shuttle the food donations to Parker Subaru, and we want to thank everyone who is participating in this public outreach. Your donations are really appreciated. Do you have a flair for decorating? We are still looking for a couple more people to help beautify the center for the holidays. If this is something you are interested in, contact Geraldine at the office. We appreciate your willingness to help and thank you in advance for sharing your talents. USCNI follows CDC guidelines. Consequently, since the Delta variant of COVID-19 is highly transmissive and on the rise in our area, to say the least, we urge everyone visiting our center to wear a mask when indoors. In addition, follow the social distancing guidelines of 6 feet when possible. Also, if you are holding meetings here, consider gathering outside when the weather permits. We appreciate your willingness to comply with these recommendations. We believe that the best way to love our neighbors is to avoid passing the virus. Youth and Family Ministries. Coordinator Amber Bourne is looking for committed volunteers who enjoy working with children to assist with youth ed. If you are interested, please add your name and contact information to the sign-up sheet on the Youth and Family Bulletin Board, which is just outside the double doors to your right. With Amber leading the way, and with your help, we can start the process of reviving our Sunday youth education program. Also, Susie Weller was here last Sunday and gave the address, and she mentioned an organization in Spokane that helps out Afghan refugees that are currently coming into our country. I have emailed the lady. If you would like more information from me or to know what you can do to help, will you put your name on a sign-up sheet? It's out there by the Spirit Group sign-ups, and as soon as I get information, I will let you know. So if you'll put your name and your email address, I'll share everything that I get.
Hey, Tammy, there's
What?
also a link, there's a post about this, for this opportunity on the message board on the website. If people want to
Perfect.
look there.
Perfect. Either way, let's see if we can help them out. Also, I am supposed to say a few words about board service. We're coming up to our annual meeting where we will be electing new board members. I am your treasurer, and I say your because I believe this church is a cooperative. All of us put in our talents, our efforts, our money to keep this going. So it's not really Julie's church, and it's not Steve's church, and it's not my church. It's our church. The seat that you're sitting in is your seat. The piano is our piano. All of these assets are ours together. And when you serve on the board, that really brings it up. You know that it's our church, and it's up to us to keep it going. And board service is a wonderful way to connect with people and to connect with the church. So please consider it, and I would love to welcome you on the board with me. Now, I'm going to introduce the turkey lady, because we are coming up to the final push.
Thank you, Julie, and everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here again. I want to thank Unity so much for supporting this effort. For those who may not know, the goal of Turkeys and More is to provide money enough to buy turkeys for 1,700 vulnerable families at Thanksgiving. The nonprofit that we work to give the money to is called Heart Reach, and they are affiliated with Heart of the City Church. We had very few donations in July and August. Thank goodness, Lauren and Nancy's Spirit Group helped a lot, and some of their members have helped write grants because we haven't had a lot of committee involved in helping with this. But we're getting there. There was an article in today's paper about the title companies that got together for the first time ever to support a project, and they each donated $500, which is a total of $3,000. And I was so excited to see that Brian put on something about Turkeys and More on the webpage, because there are several ways you can help with this project. Some of you have made personal donations, but one of the ways we can raise $2,000 is to win the vote for the Finley Charity of the Month. Every month they give $2,000. Now, I've been up here before with my song and dance because it takes a while to get the total enough votes to win this, but we hope this is our month. And you can really help by just going to Finley Dodge Charity Vote and voting. You click on the first paragraph and go down the page, and there's 3 that are in that top category. We were ahead, now we're kind of behind. But if all of you would recruit one other person to vote, what a difference it could make. We are now about halfway of raising $51,000 needed to buy all those turkeys and the holiday food, which will be given to them in the form of a gift card that they can then choose. So we want to thank you for your great help, your wonderful blessings, and just to let you know that I was so thrilled about the message today about being about kindness, and on the back of the bulletin says the survival of the kindness, because these are really, really tough times these years for those that are vulnerable. And some of those even that gave grants, like some of the grocery stores, we got some big bucks last year from some of the grocery corporations. And they're so short on funds, they're short on help, so we're not getting some of those larger donations that have helped in the past. That's why your kindness means so much, and what a joy it is to have a united group that will help in this way as all the other ways that you help. So thank you very much, and gobble, gobble.
Yeah, thank you for your help. Let's push them over the top. Yes. All right. To find out more about what's happening here, you can subscribe to our newsletter or go to our website, unitycenter.org. And before we prepare for meditation, I would like to introduce our featured speaker, Dr. Jane Simmons. She is a Unity minister for 22 years. Wow. And she's retired from Spokane. She teaches, she has several books written, but I think I heard the most important thing about her today when someone was talking to me. They said she is the warmest, kindest presence, and we would love her, and I'm sure we will. So let us now prepare for meditation.
Let's just join together in song, singing Heart, Please Open. Heart, please open wide, free the love I am inside. Heart, please open, I am. Heart, please open wide, free the love I am inside. Heart, please open, I am. Heart, please open wide, free the love I am inside. Heart, please open, I am. Heart, please open wide, free the love I am inside. Heart, please open, I am. Heart, please open wide, free the love I am inside. Heart, please open, I am.
Let's take a moment to breathe in those beautiful words as we join together for a moment of quiet meditation. Heart, please open wide, free the love that I am. And so we begin by following our breath, moving in and out of our bodies. Letting it anchor us in this now moment. As we feel our feet on the floor. Notice how that feels. The rootedness of the earth. And we move our attention upward through the body. Becoming totally present to this now moment as we continue to follow the breath in and out. And I invite you to follow the breath into your heart space. You can put your hand on your heart if you choose. Now bring into your mind's eye someone or something that you deeply appreciate. It could be a beloved person in your life, it could be a cherished pet, or a place of beauty, or a sweet memory. Choose someone or something that activates the feeling. You want to feel appreciation and gratitude begin to warm your heart. And now allow it to expand and radiate as we open wide our hearts. And we allow that feeling of appreciation, that healing vibration to fill our bodies. Blessing every cell, invigorating our bodies. Feel your aliveness. And as it fills our bodies, we allow it to radiate and expand beyond the body, creating an energetic field of harmony, compassion, kindness. It fills this room, this sacred sanctuary, and moves beyond the walls to bless our world. And we are grateful for this truth of who we are. We are inlets and outlets of the divine. And as we open ourselves to that deeper dimension within us, we step into the flow and we free the love that we are. And as we do, we bless our planet. And all life. And for this we are grateful. And so it is. Amen.
In the sky, the phantom moon appears at midday to join the sun in some forgotten dance. In their light, our voices tremble with reflection of what we know and what we leave to chance. My heart can see beyond the sun, beyond
like diamonds, stones of the moon, and splinters of the sun. Some we keep to light the dark nights on a journey and shine beyond the days when we have loved. The heart can see beyond our prayers, beyond our fondest schemes, and tell us which are made for fools and which are wise men's dreams. Trust your heart. Trust your heart.
Yes, let's do more. Thank you. Oh, good morning, everyone. I am delighted to be here with you. As you heard, my husband Gary and I have always done co-ministry and retired from Spokane Unity last December. And so we moved up to Kettle Falls, where we live in a tiny house with our dog Jedi. And I drove in from there this morning, 2.5-hour drive. And my husband Gary is watching the live stream, and he asked me to wave to him. So I'd like to ask us all to wave to Gary, and even say hello. And Jedi, well, you're watching. I'm going to put this here. Oh, and I feel very grateful to be here this morning, to be invited to come and share with you this morning. It's been a while since I have been in a room with people.
Amen.
Seriously. Yeah, seriously. The last year that Gary and I were at Spokane, we would drive down from Kettle Falls and we would live stream the service with just the two of us and our wonderful sound guy every week. And that's how it was for a whole year. So I've been doing a lot of teaching online, a lot of speaking online, and today was the first time I thought there's actually going to be people there, and what a delight. Wonderful. So I recently came across a posting. Okay, so the lights are out on this. Does that matter? Apparently not.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
You're on your blank slide there.
Yeah, great, thank you. So I came across a posting recently that said this: we need kind humans right now. And I was really moved by the urgency in the voice of the man who wrote this. And he was questioning whether it's even possible for us to be kind to one another anymore. You know, he asked, have we become so immersed in too much cynicism, too much sarcasm to recover from this? Has the political, social, polarized thinking gone too far? And his writing caught my attention. It got me thinking and wondering. I started to wonder what it might take to heal the kind of us and them thinking that seems to have really enmeshed itself into our greater culture these days. My talk title, as you heard, Survival of the Kindest, that gives you a hint as to the level of importance I'm pinning on the need to relearn, in a sense, how to be kind to one another. The title is also the name of a book that I'm currently writing, talking about cultural paradigm shifts that have happened in our history, exploring how they happen and what we need to bring forth a shift to a new paradigm, what I believe is a kinder, more compassionate world. And it turns out love has a whole lot to do with it, to answer Tina Turner's question. Because you know what? Transformation can't happen simply by taking outer actions in some way and fix things in the world. Love has to be behind it. You know, we have to first take care of our internal state, working through any unfinished business we might have from our past that could be blocking that love from flowing forth. And if we don't do this first, then all of our actions will just get us nowhere fast. And compassion, kindness, divine love, they are all foundational to transformative change. And that internal healing is done through the power of the heart. So I read recently that many of us seem to be turning our spirituality into a rat race. And when I read that, it made me pause and question whether that's exactly what I have been doing during this challenging time. Between political toxicity, social unrest, pandemics, violence, racism, so many of us have been working overtime in a seemingly endless mental and emotional struggle with whatever is showing up on the nightly news. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yes. So I've had to ask myself some pretty serious questions. Am I trying to force change by battling what is arising using tactics that are more in line with the cultural paradigm that I'm trying to evolve out of? Has a steady diet of us and them thinking, polarized thinking, derailed my desire to live a compassionate life that honors the oneness of all? Have I been trying to win a spiritual rat race and vanquish what I consider to be the other side? These are really important questions, and they bring me to the most poignant one of all. Is it even possible to bring forth a new paradigm of interconnected living using methods that no longer work in the old paradigm that is based on the story of separation? Spoiler alert, no. That is the definition of insanity, isn't it? Doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different result. And this idea that I might be caught in a spiritual rat race has really catapulted me into a whole new exploration of cultural change and how I might do it differently than I have been, and no longer contribute to the culture's dysfunction, because that's what I've been doing. As the Franciscan priest Richard Rohr writes, I love that you're doing a book study on him, or spirit groups. You cannot believe in or practice unitive consciousness, which is oneness, as long as you exclude and marginalize others. And it just makes perfect sense. If I'm making someone else the problem, keeping them outside of my circle of compassion, then guess what? I exile myself. I exclude myself from experiencing the oneness of God because I'm immersed in separation. So we can't force a cultural paradigm shift. We have to be the paradigm shift. This microphone is not against me. Not against me. Just kidding. It is really against me. So we have to be this paradigm shift, and when enough of us are in alignment with the vibrational dynamics of a new way of being, when we are expressing what we want to see in the world, then it can emerge. So I'm officially inviting any of us who may feel like you've been caught in a spiritual rat race like I have been, to step out of the battle and into the flow. Can you feel the difference between those two? Step off the battlefield that comes from, reactivity to a story of separation. That's where it comes from, into the divine flow of oneness that emanates from the real reality of interbeingness. What's our foundation principle? There's only one presence, one power, one life. And so part of our work is to start living that truth in a deeper way, I believe. But in order to do that, we first have to see what might be blocking the flow. And so it begins by looking within, becoming aware, waking up to what's going on inside of me and how I may be projecting whatever that is out onto an unsuspecting world. As New Thought teacher Emma Curtis Hopkins says, the world will persist in exhibiting before you what you persist in affirming the world is. She tells it like it is. Whatever we're putting out there is contributing to the collective memory field of humanity. Make no mistake about that. And in these very unsettled times, our whole planet now needs more than ever a new way of living, one that is based on the power of the heart. Would you agree with that? Yes. And above all, it needs those of us who are holding the vision of a better world to help bring it forth. You know, we're the ones that we've been waiting for. And this entails some work. You may have noticed. And in a sense, here's the work. It's to hospice what's dying out, what isn't working, what we're ready to release and let go of, while at the same time welcoming, nurturing, creating the environment for, and essentially midwifing what is ready to come forth and be birthed. Hospicing what's dying out, midwifing what's coming forth. And the problem is we don't have a clear idea of what that is as of yet. But this I do know. The coming together of our human family, no matter what we agree or disagree on, is imperative, and I believe our very survival rests on it, truly. I read about a farmer who grew excellent quality corn, and every year he won an award for it. And a reporter interviewed him and asked him what his secret was to growing such a quality crop year after year. And the farmer told him that he shared his seed corn with his neighbors. And the reporter asked, well, how can you afford to do that when your neighbors are in competition with you? And the farmer said this, the wind picks up pollen from the ripening corn and swirls it from field to field. If my neighbors grow inferior corn, cross-pollination will steadily degrade the quality of mine. If I want to grow good corn, I have to help my neighbors grow good corn. And I love this story because it illustrates that as a culture, we're in this together. Our well-being is intertwined. And as we've already seen, if we're keeping others out of our circle of kindness and compassion, we also keep the door barred from our own entry, but it goes beyond that. Not only are we in this together, we have to find our way out together as well. And our current cultural climate is ripe for us to do so. So how can we utilize the current situation as a cataclysmic evolutionary catalyst? That's my new favorite phrase. And in other words, what that actually means, how can we use what is currently happening as a driver for evolutionary transformation and to energetically evolve into a greater expression of who we've come here to be? Well, we cannot shift into a new way of thinking if we're seeing life through an old way of thinking, specifically through the lens of an unhealed past. Our development will be hindered by largely unconscious patterns of behavior. But to be clear, it's not about fixing ourselves. It's more a releasing of whatever's in the way of expressing our true wholeness. It's a letting go of what may be obscuring the Christ light within us from shining brightly. It's an integrating of any orphaned parts of ourselves that we have deemed unacceptable in the past. Without doing that clearing work first, we just keep on dragging the past into the future like unwanted baggage. So although it's not the totality of the work, it's definitely a foundational piece of it. If we don't, then our unfinished business will continue to quietly and not so quietly sabotage our individual and our collective evolution into a more spiritually mature, awakened culture. Centuries ago, the Roman Stoic philosopher Seneca gave some wise words of counsel. Don't stumble over something behind you. That's so great. And this is exactly what we do when we don't address this. We stumble over our own past. Anybody here ever stumble over your own past? Now, one of the issues we face in this work is that it turns out that some of that unfinished business can actually be beyond our personal history and more ancestral in nature. If I were to ask you what you inherited from your family, you might say my dad's eye color, my mother's voice. We can often see family resemblances. Physical features like skin and hair color, body shape can be passed down from parent to child. But beyond that, psychological strengths and weaknesses, emotional tendencies, mental acuity, hormonal makeup can all be inherited from our ancestors, stored in our personal and collective memory fields. Epigenetic research shows that dysfunction from trauma can be unconsciously passed down to our descendants. Dr. Rachel Yehuda, the professor of psychiatry and neuroscience, has done extensive work in this area of transgenerational trauma. And she has found that descendants of Holocaust survivors were 3 times as likely to meet the criteria for PTSD than those in their community whose ancestors had not been through the Holocaust. The same hormonal abnormalities were passed on, even if the Holocaust survivors never spoke about their experience. This passing on happens unknowingly. It's not something we set out to do or choose to do. And this bit of research has sent me on a journey of discovery, looking at my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents' lives with an eye for the stories behind the facts. What were their early lives like? What hidden traumas might they have passed on? And then looking at my own early years and seeing what memories from my past have been stored as frozen trauma in my body. We all have this to a degree. It's part of being human. And so we identify what it is and we do the healing work needed. And here's why that's so important. The author Wei Kwok tells us, social disorder is an alert to heal collective trauma. Let me say that again. Social disorder is an alert to heal collective trauma. And when I look around our world, I see much evidence of social disorder. And it affects all of us. It affects us. It affects our nervous systems. You know, our nervous systems become highly reactive. Our bodies become unsettled through the effects of witnessing and taking on trauma. Social disorder is an indicator of collective trauma. The author of My Grandmother's Hands, Dr. Resmaa Menakem, says this: gather together a group of unsettled bodies, you get a mob or a riot. He is a somatic trauma therapist. Great book, I really recommend it, My Grandmother's Hands. Gather together a group of unsettled bodies, you get a mob or a riot. But, he says, bring a large group of settled bodies together, you have a potential movement and a potential force for tremendous good in the world. And this is the key for us as to how we can help to bring forth a better world. This explains why, when a percentage of the population engages in meditation, that the crime rate can drop, violence can be reduced. It explains why getting ourselves into a coherent, heart-centered state affects those around us in a positive way. During our meditation time, as we were each sending forth appreciation, I could feel the vibrational shifting in this room. We all create that together, that energetic signature. And it helps me to understand that when I do my integration work, when I settle my body, I can be that presence of peace for another. I love what the Dalai Lama said. I think he said it best. My religion is kindness. When we learn to live and breathe kindness, when our work becomes being divine love in action, then not only our own lives transform, but it spreads like a positive contagion, and the world can change. And that brings me back to the realization of our true power within, that we are one with Source, that within us is a mighty power that can overcome all seeming obstacles. Source, not force. And we're all being called to do this work and to be the change. More wisdom from Richard Rohr. This collective call can only be truly answered by those who have done their own work of self-mastery, he says. Otherwise, there's insufficient strength, not enough connection to the essential center to do the heavy lifting of transforming society. And he goes on to say that any unfinished business will inhibit our availability to transformation. So I've been asking myself, how available am I for transformation right now? It's a great question. I heard the story of a Tibetan monk who had been tortured in a Chinese prison for years. And once he was finally released, he was asked by the Dalai Lama whether he had ever been afraid. And he answered yes. There was one thing I was afraid of. I was afraid I might lose compassion for the Chinese. Wow. There's someone who's available for transformation. And if I'm being honest, I'm not there yet myself. But the good news is we don't do this work alone. In fact, we cannot do it alone. We need the powerhouse of our divine essence. Ralph Waldo Emerson describes how this works. As he says, we are inlets of the divine. We are inlets of the divine source. And he says our job is to learn to be outlets. So the work becomes focused on reaching inside, doing the powerful integration work by finding and releasing all the unconscious hidden blocks to being an outlet, and then reaching out and becoming active, conscious conduits of divine love to bring forth a kinder and more compassionate world. And the integration work is paramount. Paramount. We need to unlearn any negative conditioning that may be hiding the very qualities that we want to express. Truly, we can't leave behind a kinder world if we're not feeling that kindness ourselves inside. We can't give the world a compassionate, safe life for all if that compassion and safety is not within our own hearts. And here's why. The world is mirroring what's within our psyche. And if I want to see healing in our polarized world, I need to be doing the healing of polarity from my own heart. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Now, to be clear, I am not suggesting in any way that we not take action of some kind to deal with harmful or abusive behavior. Not at all. Compassion does not mean doormat. But what I am saying is that that action needs to be taken without the contamination of revenge or condemnation or any of those things. I'm also not suggesting that we suppress or avoid feelings of anger or fear that have been generated from past events. No. We need to feel it. We need to honor those emotions and work through them in a positive way, not get stuck in them. But that's the key. Not get stuck. It does the world no good to have our thoughts sink into a vibration of despair or guilt or fear or condemnation, pessimism, blaming, and then stay stuck there. That just compounds the problem. As James Twyman reminds us, thoughts are the ultimate buzzkill. And he's referring to chronic negative thinking here, and I don't know about you, but that is true in my life. Nikola Tesla gives us some valuable insight on this dynamic when he writes this: if you wish to understand the universe, think of energy, frequency, vibration. So the work begins with shifting our thoughts from the ultimate buzzkill of negativity that arises from the story of separation, and then rising to the frequency, the vibrational resonance of oneness through divine love, with the ultimate goal from that energetic signature of creating a world that works for all beings. And as Marianne Williamson assures us, any thought of love uplifts us all. Nothing inspires me more than wanting to leave a more compassionate world for the next generation that is safe and loving, environmentally sustainable, where everyone has an equal opportunity to thrive. That describes the kind of paradigm shift that I believe is truly imminent. ready to emerge. But we have to help it to do so by midwifing it into manifestation as we rise to that vibrational frequency. That's what it means by being the change. And when I start to live that truth, by clearing anything that's blocking the flow of divine love, becoming an inlet and an outlet of spirit, a conscious conduit of compassion and kindness, an instrument of peace. I love that we started with that prayer. A clear avenue for spirit to express, however we want to describe it. Doing that work with humility, compassion, and kindness benefits not only me, but the entire human collective. New Thought founder of Centers for Spiritual Living, called now, Ernest Holmes, says this. In our ignorance, he says, we misuse our divinity. But he adds, without changing or destroying it. See, this is the good news. No matter what may be blocking the flow, or how long it's been doing so, our divine essence is as powerful and precious and magical and mighty as it has ever been right now. So I invite all of us to reach in, to do the integration work, discover those stuck places, the frozen trauma, unforgiveness, resentment, condemnation, both towards ourselves and others, remove whatever barriers we may have mentally or emotionally erected that are in the way of becoming a clear conduit of the divine, and then using source, not force, awaken our divine potential, go beyond our yesterday self, and become an outlet of kindness, an avenue through which love and compassion can flow, and then truly become the change that we're seeking in the world. The world's counting on us. The time is now, and we truly are the ones, and so it is.
Thank you, Jane. My goodness, that was awesome. Such words of wisdom.
How do you follow that?
With you.
You don't follow, you continue. Okay, we've all heard this song sometime in our life, but I want you to think about it with a different perspective, okay? This tune is something that can actually change the way that we think about something that we're stuck in, okay? It used to be a pop tune that kind of popped along. I've turned it into a little bit of a blues, but if you listen to it, you're going to find out that it's about transformation. Things can change if you just be aware of an event. It could be meeting that set of eyes across the room and all of a sudden you get, oh, right? Okay? It could be something else that somebody needs some help and you just go over there and do it. You don't even think about it, right? Somebody's cart is stuck on a crack in a supermarket. You just go over there and help them out, right? So transformation can happen like that. Okay? As Reverend James said, sometimes we get cynical about being stuck and we figure it's never going to change. Open your eyes and it can change. That's all you got to do. Be aware. Hey, I thought love was only true in fairy tales.
Fairy tales
Meant for someone else, not for me.
not for me.
Oh, love was out to get me.
La la la,
That's the way it seemed.
la la la.
Disappointment haunted all my dreams. But then I saw her face. without a trace. Doubt in my mind,
Doubt in my mind.
I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. Now I thought love was more or less a giving thing.
A given thing.
It seemed more I gave, less I got.
Less I got.
So what's the use in trying?
La la la.
All you get is pain.
La la la.
When I needed sunshine, I got rain. Now I saw this place. Now I'm a believer. There's not a trace of doubt in my mind.
Doubt in my mind.
Hey, I found love. Ooh, I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. It's Leanne Early here. So what's the use in trying
Ooh la
when
la.
all you get is pain?
Ooh la la.
When I needed sunshine, I got rain. But then I found this place. I'm a believer. Without a trace. Doubt in my mind.
Doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I'm a believer.
I'm a believer.
Yeah, I'm a believer.
I'm a believer.
Yeah, I'm a believer.
I'm a believer.
Transformation, right? One little thing.
Oh, wow, that was great. What a great talk. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's now time to us participate in the divine flow of giving and receiving to allow our abundance to go out and multiply in the world. Those of you watching by live stream can participate in today's offering and support by our live stream service by clicking on the donation button on our website. And let us say together, my offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply through me.
Pretty much it. Let's do the loving kindness song.
Loving kindness.
You want to bless the offering?
Well, I guess I don't bless the offering back, so you can
You can bless it.
A lot of people donate online or have recurring offerings. Just say a special prayer over it. If you have cash or a check today, there's offering vessels in the back of the sanctuary. So, Mother, Father, God, we acknowledge this offering as the very substance of your being, created before the world was formed. We know it has been shaped and formed in our thoughts and in our hearts. And now it comes into manifestation through our thoughts and words and enters this, your ministry, with your blessing upon it. According to your perfect law, it returns to each giver, heaped up, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. For our increased understanding of this law, we give thanks.
Yes, we do. And now, would you like to stand and we'll close this service today with our song, Loving Kindness. and be kind.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, when I heard it, that's what I think about it. Or the, yeah, right, it does it like that.
Well, good job, man. You soloing up past the 12th fret.
Well, 3 frets. Our regular one will allow my sabbatical in Spain. Oh, really? Yeah. So you'll be back.
I'll have to come back for that.
Yeah, he's doing a mission. We walk 7 miles out of 103. 3 or 4 years ago before the COVID. We couldn't do it the last couple of years, so now we went out to finish it. The very first one, September in the rain, or September shower, or something like that. That's right.
Can't help myself.
I don't blame you.
Yes, yes.
Oh, well,